welcome to Graphic Online News in Brief. In the headlines, government terminates controversial supply contract of Sputnik V vaccines. Assin Central MP Kennedy Agyapong faces Privileges Committee for threats against journalists. FIDA Ghana calls on government to resource domestic violence service providers. And 5 illegal miners in Ahafo sustained gunshot injuries after clash with police. News in Brief is brought to you by
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
And now the news in brief. The Minister for Health, Agyapong, says the supply contract between the government and UAE middleman Sheikh Ahmed Maktoum for Russian Sputnik V vaccines has been terminated. The health minister explains that the contract has been terminated because the middleman has failed to supply the vaccines in spite of various promises.
The Ministry of Health contracted the middleman, Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum of the United Arab Emirates, to purchase 3.4 million doses of the Russian Sputnik V vaccine at a unit cost of $19 instead of the prevailing $10. The minority in parliament called it scandalous and demanded a probe. Appearing before a 9-member committee set up to investigate the procurement on Thursday, July 15, however, the health minister disclosed the termination has been at the instance of the middleman after he failed to meet key deadlines.
After we have signed the contract, they gave us 2 weeks to supply the first 300,000 we ordered, based on our ability to give them letters of credit as part of the terms of the agreement. Our letters of credit delayed, and it got to them sometime. Then they came back after they have confirmed that they had run out of stocks. So Russia was going to supply them more stocks, and they will supply us within 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we inquired, and they said they still hadn't got the supplies. So we started engaging them that if that is the matter, they should permit us amicably to withdraw from the contract so that we can do something different to find vaccines for ourselves. Actually, they gave us verbal invitation, verbal notice that they will not be able to supply any longer. And so we requested that they then terminate the agreement, which they had actually done.
Still in Parliament, the Speaker has referred the Member of Parliament for Assin Central, Kennedy Agyapong, to the Privileges Committee for allegedly endangering the life of a journalist, Erastus Asari Donko of the Multimedia Group.
Speaker Alban Bagbin directed the committee to investigate the alleged conduct of Kennedy Agyapong and report to the House. The House will take the final decision on recommendations. The Speaker's directive follows National Democratic Congress MP for Tamale North, Alhassan Suhini's motion to draw the House's attention to the conduct of Kennedy Agyapong on the 2TV, where he is said to have issued the threat. Multimedia has also referred the MP to the police CID for investigation.
The House's attention is drawn to the conduct of one of our members. And under Order 27, which I want to quote in extenso, it says, notwithstanding anything contained in these orders, Mr. Speaker may refer any questions of privilege to the Committee of Privileges for examination, investigation, and report. Notwithstanding anything contained in these orders. In spite of the word notwithstanding, the Speaker is giving the discretion, says may refer any questions of privilege. I think that is why the honorable member is seeking my intervention to refer the matter to the Privileges Committee. This is my first time of hearing this matter. As it is now, I am compelled to refer it to the Privileges Committee.
The International Federation of Women Lawyers Ghana, FIDA, is asking the government to involve social protection institutions in the development of mechanisms to address domestic violence issues. They explained that the government during the lockdown failed to prioritize domestic violence services, a situation they say led to increased domestic violence cases.
The acting executive director of FIDA, Ms. Susan Ayite, told Graphic Online that although the government did its best during the lockdown, institutions providing social protection were not properly resourced. She says this led to most women and girls being abused. She said some even lost their lives in the process. Ms. Ayite was speaking during a State Actors Dialogue program to present research findings on the effectiveness of support services to survivors of sexual and gender-based violence during the partial lockdown last year.
If you look at what has happened, the intimate partner violence between March and April, we've had about 14 deaths. So you can see that it's an offshoot of the lockdown, basically. You see, there were issues, but now it has really blown out of proportion where women have been killed by their own spouses. We believe that DOSO's job is huge, and when it comes to issues such as this, they should be actually part of any task force committee that is set up, so that they can also bring their perspective to the solutions that actually emerge.
A consultant to FIDA Ghana, Ms. Bashiru Kamal, who presented the findings, also urged the government to prioritize gender-based violence to protect the marginalized in society.
A lot of people had lost their livelihoods and their jobs, so they didn't have money. People needed to pay rent, people needed to pay utility, people needed to eat and feed because everyone was at home at the time too. It also didn't happen. So as part of the recommendations of the research, we are looking at government being proactive in terms of one, being conscious of involving women and persons living with some form of disability when they are discussing some of these issues. If we had Ministry of Gender maybe on the COVID task force, they could have advised on certain things. And then the COVID Relief Fund as well. I mean, institutions like DOFSU, Social Welfare, and other institutions that were providing support services for victims and survivors of gender-based violence did not even have resources because government didn't give them any special resources.
In our last story, 5 suspected illegal miners are reported to have sustained gunshot wounds after engaging a team of policemen in a gun battle. The police have been deployed to a concession of Newmont Ghana Limited in the Ahafo region. Police say the illegal miners stormed the area, forced open the gates to the camp and began shooting.
The police say the attack occurred at about 4 p.m. on Wednesday, July 14, and had to return fire, which resulted in the 5 sustaining gunshot wounds. The injured are receiving treatment under police guard. They have been identified as Stephen Entry, 32, Isa Kayaya, 30, Isaac Amu, 18, Solomon Ansan, 20, and Apisco, 25. The police say the attack by the miners is due to the arrest of some illegal miners who encroached on Newmont Ghana's concession.
Thank you for watching. We will see you again tomorrow with another edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. I am Juliet Echan Safo.
Subscribe now.